Hello there guys, it's me Unstable Voltage and welcome to episode 18 of Civilization 5, the One City Challenge as Venice. Things were going quite well until Greece decided they didn't like me and they're starting to send a bit of a navy my way. I think I can deal with it quite nicely. They do only actually have one battleship. Everything else they have are either privateers or frigates. They do have a couple of carriers here that should be relatively easy to sink. I do have one bomber, although these aircraft are... No, they are great war bombers. He doesn't actually have any triplanes here, which is relatively good for me, because that means that it's going to be very, very difficult for him to air intercept me. What I do need to do is concentrate on taking his carriers down first. And the military units are going to be relatively easy to sink as well. I do have a couple of battleships of my own, which are certainly going to be getting involved in the fight. So I'm going to be moving people up to have a bit of a crack at him. I'm also going to be spending my money to churn out more navy as we go. But there's nothing else that I can do, so I'm going to hit next turn, and I'm going to wait for him to declare on me. I do have a defensive pact with Sweden. There we go. He has declared war. Instantly, Vatican City is at half health. That's because he's using his bombers on it. He shouldn't be able to take it, though. At least I hope not. I mean, Vatican City do have 3 of their own privateers around there. It's just doing the usual glitchy animation thing, so don't worry too much about that. It takes about 20 minutes. There we go, it's fine. Here comes another bomber. You see, now, I know a lot of people that do YouTube videos for Civilization 5 generally turn combat and movement animations off. I actually quite like them, and most of the time they don't take all that long. However, this kind of thing really does take the mic a little bit. Oh, look, here's another one. Well, at least if he's actually using all of his bombers bombing Vatican City, he's not using them on me, which means I can go and quite easily sink all of his aircraft carriers. Vatican City should survive quite nicely. So we will see what we can do. We've got an awful lot of pop-ups that we're going to wade through. Wow, he has a lot more units there than I thought he did. Which is very interesting. Because I think that's about the 4th bomber. Unless any of these bombers have logistics, which I don't think they do. Of course, some of them could also be coming from his cities close by as well. There we go. Now he's attacking Samarkand. But we are now... Wow, he's got a lot of bombers. He has a lot of bombers. Samarkand's fighting back. And at some point, we are going to get a go. Right, you're coming in as well, but you shouldn't be able to get anywhere. Is it our turn yet? Nope, still not our turn yet. You are firing at my battleship, which is to be expected. Already lost 3 trade routes. Now, we could potentially end up... You know, I really can't defend all of these city-states. I just don't have enough range to go out there and defend them all at this point. Let's just hope they can hold their own until the end of the war. Now, technically, Sweden should be at war with them, because we do have a defensive pact. But I didn't see a warning come up for that. So we will definitely have to check that shortly. At least Brussels have some artillery, and that's going to help with the sinking of the Greek navy. So these next few turns are probably going to be pretty slow, because there's going to be a lot of stuff going on. Vatican City is now returning fire. So my first priority is to get rid of bombers, which means taking out as many of their aircraft carriers as I can. The city-states are certainly not going to go down without a fight. And this could severely cripple Alexander's forces right now. Trade route established for Florence. Like I said, we're going to end up losing a lot of trade routes here. We need to be careful. Barbarian's turn. Okay, we get to have a go. And Neuschwanstein is finished. So let's have a look what we've got. Shoshone, Greece is protecting. Hanoi, no longer friends. So, right, all of the civs have just started. Right, you fled from Athens. Gustavus did declare war on Alexander. Brilliant. So the Swedish have got involved. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. So, production. What do we want to do here? Do we want to bother with things like the Kremlin? No. Or the Manhattan Project? Yes, we do want to do the Manhattan Project, but it is not our priority. 2 turns away from ecology. Could we build anything that's only going to take 2 turns? We could churn out a submarine, so let's do that. We don't have enough money to purchase anything, so we're not going to purchase anything right now. So let's see what we can actually deal with over here. First and foremost, you don't need to have that aircraft carrier. So we're going to move 1 tile closer, and we are going to hurt it. And it has 2 planes on it as well. So there we go. You've already lost 1 aircraft carrier and 2 bombers, which is fantastic. Now we need to start sinking units as quick as we can. We're just going to go for these privateers here, because I think that Samarkand will be able to deal with that one quite nicely. How close can you get realistically? What is your movement range? You can't get close enough to hit, which is a bit of a pain. But I am going to move you up. I'm also going to move you up as well. Thought I had another battleship. Oh, I have. It's up there. I've already taken a shot. I do have a bomber. Now, I know that they don't actually have any triplanes. At least I don't think they do. So what we could try and do... We don't have an awful lot of range ourselves, but we could certainly try and do some damage to this frigate. So let's go ahead and do that. The plane did take some damage back, but not a great deal. It's not really worth me moving this artillery around. It isn't going to be able to realistically get close enough to do anything, so I'm going to leave it where it is. This privateer, I'm just going to leave for the time being. I'm just going to leave that there as a defensive unit. What else have we got? What can we do? You can still move, but you can't get close enough to fire, so let's move you up there. And you can move up to there as well. So let's end the turn. Oh, flip, I forgot to reposition my, my spy somewhere. But that's fine, it isn't the end of the world. Vatican City may actually fall here. It's a little bit annoying, but there's not an awful lot that I can do to try and stop that, because I suppose if I do manage to get rid of the majority of the Greek forces, that I would be able to get over there. But I think a lot of these attacks are actually coming from the city that they have up here. And Vatican City is quite close to them, and they are starting to land a few units now. And, you know, let's be honest, we've got pikemen versus Great War Infantry. Vatican City don't stand too much of a chance there. I see that Samarkand is being attacked again. Samarkand might actually fall here. So it would appear that the Greeks have a lot of bombers. But providing we can clear up all of the melee units, they won't be able to take it. That is the plan here. So that's what we're going to do. So they can bombard it as much as they want. They still need a melee unit to capture it. Any more planes? And of course Samarkand are helping with the destruction of the ships. What's going on here? That was a battleship from just in the fog of war. Was that one of my ships getting sank? Privateer was bombarded. Yeah, I think Brussels are actually going to be relatively okay for the most part. I mean, we could always just try and peace out as early as possible. I don't know how much pressure Sweden are going to be putting on them, if any at all at this point. Morocco and Japan are now friends. Oh, you want embassy now, do you? Okay. Fair enough. Still a lot of stuff going on from the city-states. Of course, now we've got to wait while the city-states do the rounds and do all of their counter-attacks. So hopefully we will start to see some more Greek units sank or sunk. Shouldn't be too bad. I'm certainly going to try and thin out as many of them as I can. Of course, Hanoi is actually attacking Florence because Hanoi is Greek-controlled at the moment. Vatican City is going to do its best to defend itself. It still has a few units to worry about. But if it can deal with all of the melee units, it might actually survive. The only unit that they currently have there that could take it is this Great War Infantry, although they might have some privateers around. I'll do my best to save them if at all possible. Hopefully Florence is going to be able to take care of Hanoi for the time being. And that should hopefully just about be the end of the city-states round. See, this is a video where I can just basically sit back and do nothing because the AI is doing everything. Okay, and we have a great musician as expected. Okay, first things first, we are going to take our unassigned spy and we are going to move you and put you into Athens, just because we want to see what is going on. We are going to take our great musician and we are going to create a great works, just to give us a little bit of extra tourism. 1,000 gold. We can actually afford to purchase something. So let us... Alright, Great War Bomber. We can actually have another attack with the War Bomber. Where can it reach? We can actually quite easily reach and take out that frigate. So let's go ahead and do that. Was it a privateer? I can't remember now. It was a frigate. So we can quite easily take that out. The War Bomber does take a little bit of damage, but not too much. Be amazed if that actually hasn't sank the frigate. It didn't. Wow. That's amazing. Of course, it's not going to help the frigate out because you're just going to come along and do that to it. We're going to take this battleship and move as far forwards as we can get. We are going to use you. I'm actually going to move you up one. Right, what can we do against these guys? You are going to fire at this one. You are going to fire at this one. You are going to fire at this one. And you, unfortunately, can't get close enough to fire at that one, which is a little bit of a pain. You might as well... you might as well just stay there, actually. Cargo ship. Yes. Byblos, let's just do that. I know I did think about just keeping them home, and that might be the thing to do, but I think right now that probably isn't such a bad idea, just sending them out. We're going to purchase ourselves another battleship, I think. And we're going to give you targeting 2. You're in a bit of trouble. Well, you might as well take one of their ships out while you can. Because now we have an extra ship, you know. Well, that's all I can do on that turn. So let's hit the button and then wait another 20 minutes for the AI to take its turn. It's a little bit strange. Just looking at my timer now. We're 14 minutes into this video. And I think this is only the 3rd turn since the war started. I may well have to turn off the combat animations because it's just taking a little bit too long. I don't usually... Normally if I play a game where I have a lot of combat turns, I don't usually have the city-states involved all that much, so there isn't usually all of this stuff going on. Although, as the war goes on and I do start to thin out the Greek units, it should certainly speed the turns up. The other possibility, of course, is that these city-states start to get taken over, which is another problem. Which is quite odd, because normally Greece likes to protect the city-states and doesn't like to attack them, but we'll see. We don't know how it is going to work out. Privateer was destroyed, which I fully expected to happen, so that's not surprising. It was only a privateer at the end of the day anyway. So it's still not the end of the world for us. We've only lost a couple of units that were sort of isolated, old, redundant units anyway. One thing that I have just thought about that I really, really should do. What are Mongolia up to? Are Mongolia attacking Brussels as well? That's quite possible. One thing that I should do is, because I've actually decided that I want to embargo Greece, I should actually look and see if anyone would be willing to pay me to embargo Greece, although I don't think I have a diplomat in the appropriate place, because I think the only person I've got a diplomat in is in India. And India are actually quite friendly with Greece, I think. Well, at least they were. Whether or not they still are, I don't know. It's very unlikely that they would pay me in order to vote for that, but we'll see how it goes. I'll have a look around and see if it's possible. If I'm going to vote that way anyway, and somebody's willing to pay me to vote that way, then I might as well do it. Okay, can we not do that with the camera, please? Okay, ecology's done. Great scientist we have. Right, so first things first, let's go to India. Let us trade. He is friendly. Okay, I want to embargo Greece. What would you give me for that? Nothing. Okay. Anybody else? Can I do it with anybody else, or can I only do it with people that I have a thing, diplomat with? Trade. Yeah, I need a diplomat to be able to do it, and I don't have diplomats anywhere else other than in India. Okay, that's fine, so I can't do that. It was worth checking. Production there is complete, so we're going to do Sydney Opera House, and we are going to take our... Right, you need Wolfpack and Wolfpack 2, and we are going to take our submarine, and we're going to move you out as much as we can. We're also going to take our battleship, and we are going to move you out as much as we can also. We have our... I thought we had a great engineer somewhere. I know we've got stacked units, but I'm sure we had another great engineer. Did I miss something? Unit list. Do have a great engineer. You're going to rush that production. And our great scientist, we are just going to pop to discover a technology. Unit needs orders. Great War Bomber. Not too sure if you can actually reach anything from there. No, nothing is in range, so you may as well fortify until healed. So, what do you have left, Greece? Methinks not a lot. Let's go over here then. And let us fire at your battleship. That's going to do a nice amount of damage to it straight away. Can you get close enough to fire on his battleship? Yes, you can. So let's go ahead and do that. You probably can't. No, you're at your range limit. You possibly might be able to get close enough. In fact, you can indeed. So you're going to fire at that battleship as well. Now, I don't think you're going to get close enough to attack this guy, but we are going to move you up. I'm going to build another couple of battleships and hopefully at some point a destroyer, so we can start taking these coastal cities. So we've got one battleship here actually. That's going to be your job. Don't have enough money to buy another one right now. A unit needs orders. Cargo ship, you might as well go there because you were going there fine and didn't get pillaged. We still have 15 of our 18 cargo routes at the moment. You're kind of screwed whatever you do. So you might as well just damage something. Yeah, I want to attack anyway. It's just basically the tutorial thing pops up and says, are you sure you want to do that? It's suicidal. I mean, I've probably given his unit a little bit of XP. and it probably would have made more strategical sense for me to just disband the unit, as it wasn't mine to begin with, but I wouldn't have gained anything from doing that anyway, so I might as well do a little bit of damage to him. Don't have enough money to buy another unit at this point. I guess I could always use the privateer to try and take these cities, because they don't have a huge amount of health, and they should be relatively easy to take. I've also just noticed down here that there's actually quite a lot of uranium. Unfortunately, it's not like I can settle on it, which is a bit of a pain. So yeah, uranium for our endgame probably isn't going to be much of a thing. But that is something that we will have to investigate on the next video, because we've run out of time. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope you are still enjoying the One City Challenge, and I'll see you next time. Until then, goodbye for now.